Well, of course the crowd chose Barabbas, and you're not always wrong just because you don't win a vote. But when you lose a vote so comprehensively as the English FA lost their effort to derail Sepp Blatter's presidency of FIFA in the week, when you see the man you tried to sink get 186 votes from a possible 206, and when you factor in the baleful stares, the malevolent feelings towards the Scottish and English FAs who pulled this manoeuvre, you've got to ask yourselves whether it's worth it, whether it's been worth it, whether we will in the end pay a very high price in terms of future decisions made by the international football authorities. Or you may be of the view that actually you couldn't care less. Either way, I want to hear from you. Were England right to make the stand they made? In which case, you know the old saying, 40,000 Frenchmen can't be wrong? How come 186 out of 206 of the delegates to FIFA disagreed? 08717 2233 44 is the number to call. 810 is the number to text. Remember, I need your song to play out with. It's been an extraordinary week. Britain and America calling for the lifting of sanctions against the Taliban. I wonder how the widows and orphans of the service personnel that were sent to Afghanistan to give their blood for an absolutely futile, doomed war, which I told you from the beginning was doomed and would end on exactly the terms that could have been obtained at any time in the course of the entire 10-year war. That's actually now coming to pass, as I knew that it would. So many other big stories bobbing around, none bigger than the ongoing attrition in Libya, which is costing you, yes, I mean you, sit up straight, £7 million a day. £7 million a day, 7 days a week. That's £50 million a week. That's £200 million a month. It's been going on now quite a few months. Do the maths. And we're told that it's just been extended for 90 days. That takes us another 3 months, another £600 million. In other words, we've just enjoyed a £1 billion war. We, Britain, virtually bankrupt, sacking workers in their hundreds of thousands, cutting vital public services that our own people are desperately in need of in order to set fire to Libya. For what? That's a question I'll be asking Sukant Chandan, spokesperson for British Civilians for Peace in Libya, who will be joining us, God willing, live from Tripoli. He also writes for the Sons of Malcolm website, which is sonsofmalcolm.blogspot.com. And you may not agree with his take on the Libyan situation, but he's a very brave young man to be doing what he's doing this evening out there in Tripoli, where, as I said on the news, we've just learned there are more very big explosions in downtown Tripoli. And of course, in the Yemen, the president, for 32 years, the longest-serving dictator now in the Arab world, is in hospital, having been hit by artillery shells and civil war. I think a brief one is underway in Yemen. We'll talk about that maybe also. Then there's the strange Britain's Got Talent competition. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn if I say that the glimpses, there have only been glimpses, of Britain's Got Talent that I have seen, persuaded me that if Britain's Got Talent, it certainly isn't on that show. I've seen dancing dogs. I've seen people dressed up in Egyptian pharaonic era gowns. I've seen more than one dog show, actually. I've seen a 90-year-old man who appears to be deaf singing with his, I think, 60-something daughter. I mean, is that the talent that Britain's got? And what's Simon Cowell doing sitting on it? Why is a man like him, this impresario, the greatest thing since Cecil B. DeMille, the man who's now surely a billionaire, watching with his drooping eyelid a dancing dog show on a Saturday night on British television. Anyway, the reason we're talking about it to Mike Ward, the Daily Star TV critic, is that, of course, the internet, the Twitter phenomenon, the internet phenomenon of unchecked, unproven, in this case, almost certainly utterly false information, gets pumped out and ends up leading the news in the popular prints and on several television broadcasts today, making entirely false allegations. Now, Simon Cowell has called in the police because he's not going to stand for it. He's not going to stand for false allegations being made against him, against the show, and against the 12-year-old boy who was the subject of that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, I'll go into more details later. Then we'll be talking to Dr. Ryan G. Van Cleve, international speaker on video game addiction and a professor of liberal arts at the Ringling College of Art and Design, author of Unplugged, My Journey into the Dark World of Video Game Addiction, and we'll be talking to him about the problems spouses encounter with video game addiction. The non-gamer, that's me, doesn't appreciate that it's an addiction. That's me too. And his website is ryanvancleve.com. So we'll be talking about these widely disparate matters. But first off, we're going to talk about the FIFA story. Alex McGibbon, former director of England's World Cup bid for the 2006 World Cup, has had a unique insight into how FIFA operates and how many backroom deals go on. So we'll be talking to Alec very shortly indeed, and looking forward to that. He's a big man, and it's very good of him to give up his time at this time of the evening to kick that off, if you'll forgive the pun. And I'll also be speaking to a man I've known for a very long time, Derek Laud. That's L-A-U-D, though the way he pronounces it, you might well think he's a lord, and all the world loves a lord, and much of the world loves Derek, I must say. He is a broadcaster and writer. He was famously on Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother, but I knew him long, long before that, when he used to be in the House of Commons with old friends of mine. Well, I was going to go to Alex after the break, and that's what I'll do, yeah?